camera's too high. This camera's too high. Let's bring it down just a little bit. And nailed it. Boom. Now I'm back. Now I'm more in the middle of the screen.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy. I'm one half of the Brothers Murph, and this is Meta Game Minute. Meta Game Minute is a twice-weekly segment where Mike and I talk about anything we want to talk about in board gaming. And today I want to talk about something that's very transparent. Something that's completely see-through. It gives a little crinkly sound. I'm talking about shrink wrap. All of our beautiful games come beautifully shrink wrapped with a nice shiny little transparent shell around them. And what I want to talk about today is shrink or no shrink. And what I mean by that is when you get a game, do you immediately de-shrink it? Or do you keep the shrink wrap on it until you have time and or are ready to play it? Because this is something that, like, I guess I always assumed everyone just did it the exact same way I do. And I'm finding out more and more and more that I don't think that's the case. Because Mike and I, when we get a game, literally the first thing we do is take the shrink wrap off it and open it up and start punching stuff out. Even if we know we're not going to be able to play that game for like 6 months, we will de-shrink it, punch everything out, bag everything up, and then boom, put it on the shelf. It's never once occurred to me to not do that. And there's so many people who say like, oh man, I have Evolution, but it's still in the shrink. And I've always kind of just thought, I guess in my head, in my dome, I just thought that was like an expression. You know, like, oh, it's still in the shrink, which means it hasn't gotten played yet. And for some people, that may be the case. That's just an expression they use to say, like, oh, it just hasn't gotten played yet. Something's still in the shrink. But there's like a lot of people who, like, their games stay shrink wrapped until they play them. And that, to me, is such a weird concept. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying, like, you're doing this wrong if you do it that way. Again, like I said earlier, it's just never occurred to me not to do that. I have 2 games here that are still in the shrink wrap. We have Dungeon Pets and we have Seven Wonders Duel. Now, you can see behind me right here, Dungeon Pets is right here. So this is not our copy of Dungeon Pets. The only reason these 2 games are still in the shrink is because these are giveaway games that we've done giveaways for. This one's getting sent out tomorrow. This one's getting sent out. I'm not sure, we haven't done the giveaway from this one yet. But the only reason these still have the shrink on them is because it's not my place to unshrink these because they're not our games. They're going to go to some lucky winner for these. So these are the only shrink wrap games in our entire house because, to me, don't you want to, like, look at the stuff inside? That's a huge part of gaming to me, is getting inside the box and seeing what's in there. And so for us, like, keeping something in the shrink doesn't really make sense. And there are people who have done really, really cool things. There was a really great thread, I think it was on BGG or maybe on the Dice Tower Guild or something like that, where someone talked about them losing weight. They are a bigger gentleman and they wanted to lose weight, and the way they did it is through board games. They kept games in the shrink, and he was not allowed to unshrink those games and learn them and play them until he had lost some amount. Let's just say it's 10 pounds, right? So he had a whole stack of games in their shrink, and he would continue buying games like he normally does, but he wouldn't open them until he had met this goal. And I think he said he lost like 250 pounds or something like that. Because he'd be like, oh man, I'm just staring at a Grickle over there in its shrink wrap. I really want to play it. I guess I better go along the treadmill. And he'd go and he'd work out, and it really, really motivated him to lose that weight. And I think that's a really cool way to go about it. So tell me, how do you do this? Do you use something that's in the shrink as an expression for just haven't played it yet? Do you keep games in the shrink until you play them? If you do, what's your oldest game in the shrink? Like, what's the game you've had longest in the shrink wrap that you haven't played? Or are you like us where you just unshrink, unpunch, and sort everything and then put it on the dang shelf? How do you like to do it? I'm curious of how everyone does this, because it's something that I didn't realize that there was any differing ways of going about this, and apparently there was a lot. There's a lot. So that's going to be it for me. Make sure to check us out on Twitch. Make sure to check us out on Twitter and all sorts of social media. Like and share this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube if you haven't already. And whether you're keeping the games in the shrink until you play them, or you unshrink them, unpunch them, bag those bad boys up, put them on the shelf just like us, remember, the more meta, the more better.
Hey, you just saw us in that video, and now here I am again. Why are you still here? Yeah, since we got you here, go ahead and check out Restoration Games. There's info for them in the description below, and they sponsor us. They're super cool and have great games. And there's also like things to click to subscribe to us. And this game is broken. There's videos. There's just more stuff to click so you can see more of this.